Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're going to be talking about Delicious, but before we do...
Delicious.
But before we do, we just want to remind you to hit that subscribe button so you can see more stuff like that, and you'll be reminded that it's coming your way. So make sure to subscribe so you can see all our videos as they come out. Okay, Delicious is designed by Stephen Finn and is published by Pencil First Games.
We are big fans of Stephen Finn and Dr. Finn Games as a whole, but this is a flip and write style game. What's going to happen is you are going to flip over cards. It's going to tell you to add them to the top or bottom row. You have to make some tough decisions. You're going to fill in all these different vegetables and fruits on these weird containers. And yeah, use whatever you have to work with. So plant whatever you have to work with. I'll give you a quick overview of how it works, and then we'll come back to the review. All right, here's our setup for Delicious. Every player is going to get one of each of these pages. Then what we have two stacks of cards. One that applies to the top row of cards, one that applies to the bottom row of cards, and that has to do with these sections right over here. We have 3 containers on the top row, 3 containers on the bottom row, then we have one large planting area for our fruit. All the rest are for vegetables. We're going to play 12 rounds. At the beginning of each round, what we're going to do is we're going to flip over both of these cards. And then we're going to draw into our token bag here and put one token on each one of those cards based off the symbol at the bottom right. In this case, it's both fruit. All these tokens are double-sided, either having a tool on one side or a fruit on the other. Now we have a choice to make. Based off of the top left of this kind of section over here, we have to decide whether we want to use one of these cards in the location where it's at, the top card in the top section, the top bottom card in the bottom section, or do we want to take just one card but reverse its location? Do we want to take both cards exactly where they are, or do we want to take both cards but use them any way we want? Whatever you choose, you're going to fill in that circle. It kind of limits how many times you can do each one of those different kinds of actions. All right, so we've decided we are going to use this bottom card here, this bottom combination, and we're going to use it on the bottom row. So what we would do is we would fill in one of those circles there. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our vegetable, in this case lettuce, and we're going to fill it in any one of these spots on the board over here. You have to start from the bottom and kind of build your way up. So in this case, we want to build our lettuce. What we can do is we can either go to this section, in which case we need pears. So if we put a lettuce here, we would also eventually need to find a lettuce to go here. We couldn't go any higher until we built that pear of lettuce. Over here, all these things we want to be the exact same. So not only do we want just a pair of them, but we want 5 of the exact same thing over here. And over here, we want all things that are different. On the top row, we have the same sort of thing going on. We want non-equal things, we want equal pairs, and we want the entire thing to be equal. They're slightly different numbers, but in function, they work the same way. If you want to write the letters down, it gives you this kind of chart of what to use for all the different letters, or even gives you a little chart of how to draw out the different vegetables if you want to do it that way as well, which is kind of cool. For the first round, let's just take it easy. Let's just put a vegetable or lettuce right down here at the bottom over here, which basically says we're going to go for non-equal things for the rest of the round. All right, now we've got our fruit on top here. What we can do is basically whatever the symbol is, in this case a hexagon, we're able to go over to our fruit area and we are able to fill in whatever the fruit is. In this case, it's the golden raspberry. So we find a hexagon and fill that in. Eventually, you're going to have some cards that tell you to pull out tools instead of fruit. In that case, you get things like a spade or a rake or some gardening shears. What you can do with those is you can either use it as a fruit or a vegetable. So let's say we had that spade. You can use that to fill in anything in this row. There's a spade symbol right there. So anything in that column there, you can fill in. Or perhaps you've built this bottom layer already. You can use it to fill in the second row on that particular area. Or you can go over to the fruit area, find the spade symbol right here, and anywhere in this column you can fill in any fruit of your choice. So the symbols on the bottom right of each of the vegetable cards tell you whether to get out a fruit or a tool. Another thing you can do on your turn, instead of taking a fruit as it is or a vegetable as it is, you have this wild spot area. 1 time per game for fruit and 1 time per game for vegetable. You can turn anything into anything else. So for instance, if you wanted to take a broccoli and turn it into a lettuce, you would simply fill in this wild spot area showing that you've done that. Same thing with the fruit. 1 time you can turn a strawberry into a watermelon. There's also a spot where you can turn in items for these bonus spots. So now putting a fruit or a vegetable in these bonus spots, it doesn't give you points directly for what you've placed. However, let's say we put a strawberry in here for the fruits. Basically it's saying for every strawberry that's out here on the board, you're going to get 1 additional point. Or if you chose, let's say, again, broccoli for your vegetable for the bonus spot, for every broccoli out here on the board, you're going to get 2 extra points. In the planting area, basically the highest level that you've filled up, that's the points that you're going to get for each particular one of these containers. So if you had this area all the way filled up, you would get 12 points at the end of the game. If you had this section filled up and this section halfway filled up, you would only qualify for the 2 points. The way the fruit works is a little bit different. This time you're not actually trying to fill things up from top to bottom or anything like that. What you are trying to do is you are trying to get sets of 3, 4, or 5 in a row. If you're able to get them in a row of unequal things, like nothing matches up at all, you're going to get 1, 2, or 3 points for 3, 4, or 5 sets. However, if you get things that are all the same, you're going to get 3 for 3, 4 for 4, or 5 for 5 points, which can be very lucrative, but it's also very tricky to do. At the end of the 12th and final round, all players are going to add up their points from all the different areas. There's also going to be a bonus 3 points awarded to whoever is able to fill up either their top section or their bottom section first. Whoever has the most points is going to be declared the winner.
Okay, so this is like a really weird thing, but I really appreciate it. So it's a flip and write game, right? So you're drawing or writing. And it's like they understand that when people are playing a flip and write game, some people just don't like drawing. And so for all of the vegetables and all the fruits, you can just put a letter down. It's totally fine. However, there are also people out there who, even if it's the tiniest thing, it does not matter. They want to actually draw it. And so there's actually a guide on the back of is it the rules? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's actually a guide on the back of the rules on a quick way to draw these fruits and vegetables. So I just like that they, instead of like trying to make something happen, they leaned in to both people.
One of the things that I really look for in games is having tough choices, meaningful decisions, right? This game is chock full of them. You wouldn't think so, but at the same time, everything you do, you have choices. So the first choice comes in the way of which cards you're going to use. Either you're going to give out 2 cards, and you choose the top or the bottom, or you can choose the top or the bottom, or the top and the bottom, or you can reverse the order of them, but you have a limited amount of what you can do with each of them. And then once you've chosen which one you're going to use, then you've got to fill it in on your board. Where are you going to fill it in? What spots are the most advantageous for you? Can you complete one of these sets that you need to complete? Can you complete some of these pairs? Try to fill up a whole container. Can you get a fruit all in these certain rows and do whatever it takes? Everything you do in this game is thinking.
Matters.
It matters.
Yeah.
You have to figure out the best way to do it, and it makes your brain hurt in the best way.
There are wrong choices.
We found them.
I really like how the fruits and vegetables are different. So you're going, like the fruits, you're trying to go for rows and columns, depending if you're going for all the same or different. They score differently. And in the vegetables, you're trying to either get pairs or try to get them to be all the same, and how you score differently based on filling that up. And then the first person fill up container, they get a point. But I just like how you could have done the same thing, just you only put fruits here, you only put vegetables here, but the fact that they do score differently, it actually matters with what you do. So I really like that they were pretty different while still just being all right there.
I like how in the roll and write and flip and write genres of games, a lot of times the first ones we were introduced to, we didn't like. A lot of them were very simplistic. It's just like you get some numbers and you'd fill them on a little chart. You get some numbers and you'd fill them on a little chart or whatever it was.
And then you have kindling for your next bonfire.
Exactly. But the trend I've seen notice is a trend towards complexity, a trend towards thinkier experiences. But this still has those classic trademarks of really, really fast gameplay, or simultaneous play, or those things that just writing something down and you're ready to go to the next thing. So I love how this game in particular is a step up from a lot of those earlier roll and write, flip and write style games, where every time we're playing this, we're thinking about our actions. We're more involved. This is not something that you can necessarily just play over, one of our morning coffee dates.
Yeah.
This one wouldn't necessarily be a good fit for that, but it's okay because it's a good fit for an actual game night, but it's still going to be in a smaller time frame. It's not as heavy as something that's say like Hadrian's Wall or Three Sisters, but still, this is a thinkier roll and write, flip and write game, which I enjoyed.
If you enjoy flip and write games, and if you like Stephen Finn's designs in general, I think that this is something you're really going to like. He's just really good at those 20, 25-minute time frames where it's a game, right? It's a full game. You don't feel like you're just passing the time. You feel like you get that actual experience in that short amount of time, and he kind of just understands that. So if you like flip and write and you like that aspect of play, I would definitely recommend checking this out.
I agree. It has some cool things going on, lots of variety, lots of thinkiness, and it's just a cute theme too. We like it.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see your videos as they come out. Until then, you can follow us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.